What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? Commander Rio checking in with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. It is our weekly live stream, Hall of Fame game edition, because the NFL football season kicks off tonight. No, it's not the regular season, and yes, the Jags are sitting half their roster, but football is back tonight. We're about 9 days away from our Washington Commanders opening up the preseason on the 13th, Saturday the 13th at FedEx Field versus the Carolina Panthers. We get a little Howe versus Corral action. And I got my young boys coming on with me tonight, one of the young goats of Washington Commanders YouTube. First up, I got to kick it with him this week at training camp, got to meet him in person. As advertised guy, my boy Pedro. What it do, my guy?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited, to watch some football today, even though, like you said, kind of XFL football. We don't got like half the team of the Jaguars, and it looks like it might get delayed as well, but I'm excited to talk some Commander football today.
Hell yeah, man. And it was lovely getting to meet you, man. We got to kick it together and take in practice, which we're going to get to in a second. But we got my other boy, the other young GOAT of Washington Commanders content creation, my boy Juan Gotti, the young rap star in the building. What's good, my boy?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you for having me on as always, man. And not quite XFL. Like, I would still take this over any kind of XFL game ever. You know what I'm saying? So
NFL Canada, XFL, all that.
This is the start of the football season, man. I'm excited to watch a little bit of it. You know what I'm saying? More importantly, talk Commanders football with you guys. I appreciate you for having me on, man. A rap star, huh? Not quite. I'm just trying to know how to make some music.
Hey, my man know how to work that auto tune though.
yeah. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Record my own music, do it in my own house. So hey, you know what I'm
saying? I did the grind. Good stuff with Philly 500 earlier.
Yes,
but
sir.
To start it off, Pedro, me and you, we had 10 toes down in Ashburn the other day at training camp. Let everybody know what your experience in Ashburn was like. What was it like mixing it up with the players and getting a full run of practice? We were there the first day they were in pads. Let them know what your experience was like.
It was great. I mean, the one good thing about fan lottery is that there's less people there. Like, I'm going on Monday. I think I'm going on Monday, and there'll probably be a lot more people. So, like, it was extremely easy to get autographs from at least some players. Like, obviously, Terry McLaurin, that's going to be tough. Ron Rivera, Carson Wentz, Chase Young, those guys are going to be tough. But, like, if you're going there, like, you will be able to get autographs unless, like, it goes crazy on Monday with the amount of people. So that was really cool. Like, I don't know if you guys saw my vlog, but I got to meet, like, Jarrett Patterson, Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick. I got an autograph and picture with Chase Young, Kendall Fuller, Cole Turner, a bunch of guys. So that was really cool. And, the practice, like you said, like it was first day with pads. We got to see some one-on-one drills. Like, what's up, Corey? That was pretty cool. Like, I think before that, they weren't doing one-on-one drills. So we'll talk about that later. And then we got the 11v11 first day of pads. That was interesting. And, yeah, I think they did a good job setting everything up. Everyone there, like, was super, super nice. And they got that tent over there with some water and some snacks.
All right, so everything we know so far about training camp, Juan, what is something that has stood out to you? What are you most like? What has gravitated to you the most out of what we've heard out of training camp so far? You're on mute.
It be doing it by itself, my fault. But like what I was saying was, I know this probably gonna be like, oh, you taking the easy route, but hey, the thing that's been most exciting from training camp so far is how advertised Jahan Dotson is. Like,
yes, sir.
Obviously, we talked about it coming out of the draft. Me and Rio, we both weren't as happy with the pick, but we quickly grew to like him, and we understand why, right?
Ate my crow quick before I even seen him in a game.
Exactly. that should tell you how good he is. I know this is probably taking the easy way out, but him just being as advertised, like this is probably like the first time in a while that we've seen a guy come straight in and he's like, oh, okay, we see why we took him at 16, man. The guy has been really, really good so far in training camp. And he's as advertised. So Jahan Dotson for me.
Will said, "Wake your ass up."
I'm up, man. I'm up, bro. I'm up.
I love it, Pedro. Who stood out to you the most, man?
I mean, I'm gonna say I'll give like a cop out, like an easy answer. That's Cole Turner. Like he had a couple
My
really nice
boy.
catches. That's your
My
guy.
boy.
Also, really like I think out of all the players, he was probably like the most chill. Like I was talking to him for like a minute because like he's from Oregon, close to where one of my parents grew up. So he was really
Caught
nice.
all
But
of that on the vlog. I got it all on my vlog.
yep. I saw that. I saw that. And then also a low key guy that I think that like none of the media members were talking about just because kind of he's like on the third team. But I thought Kelvin Harmon, like I think he had like 5+ catches
Yeah.
in 11v11. And like I'm not saying he's gonna make the team or anything, but like I didn't hear a single tweet about him the first week of training camp. And the first day I'm there, he probably had the most catches out of anyone. Nothing crazy, but like pretty solid catches. So like he's kind of my under the radar guy. Maybe Armani Rogers had a solid day as well when I was there.
Absolutely. And Kelvin Harmon's a guy I'm usually low on because I don't really see like the I don't see production coming out of him, but
I agree.
he could definitely fight for a practice squad spot. But he's looked good. He's actually impressed me in practice. Sam Howell unfortunately runs with the threes. He's like the only receiver he has to throw to. Like, I wish just for the culture, we could get some Diambi, Sam Howell combos in the third team, but Diambi be running with the ones and the twos. So we're not really going to get that. But I love Weed says, Wentz still stinking it up. I will never say he was stinking it up. He just had a couple of days where he strung together a lot of sailed passes, but it was never to the level of some of the inept quarterback play we've seen over the years here. He looks in control of the offense. He knows where he wants to go with the ball every play. The ball's out. He's not holding on to it for an hour. But ever since they put on shoulder pads, like my guy Corey said, ever since the defense isn't getting pretty much a free release, because what are you going to do with a Montez Sweat who's absolutely killing camp right now? What are you going to do with Payne, Sweat, and Allen with no pads on? You can't hit them, so they're just going to either manhandle you or go around you, and there's not but so physical you could be with them. But this week, Wentz has had a good week. The starting offense has been getting the defense back, but that boy Montez Sweat, I think it's time to start talking about how he finally puts his game together and we start seeing what the finished product looks like. Year four, right? Damn, time flies. Year 4, Montez Sweat. Charles Leno in his presser today said, Tez came back with some moves this year. I ain't never seen him looking like this. And you can tell, bro, he's in the back. Most of this disruption and most of the mistakes Wentz has had in practice is because 6'6" Montez Sweat is in his lap when he gets his third step on a drop, like every other play before, you know what I'm saying, the pads came on. But Montez and Kendall Fuller, those are the guys that really have stuck out to me so far. But we got a preseason game coming up next week. Are any of you guys going to the open practice at FedEx on Saturday?
Yeah, I might be going there. Depending on if everything could plan out. I might be going.
Yeah, I was gonna go, but something came up. So I'm glad I went to the training camp, and I'll be going again this next week. So that should be good.
Pedro probably taking a flight to Ibiza or some crazy exotic island. Pedro be traveling out here, man. He trying to get his trips in before he gets off to college, man. But I'll be up there Saturday. So anybody that's gonna be up to FedEx Field, Ron said in his presser today, they're going to turn up the intensity. We're going to get some live simulation game type situations like they did last year at the Friday night football event. They kind of scrimmaged a little bit, and it was lit. It was nice. That's when the Diambi Brown fan club started that day. Shout out to my boy.
Also, the Toy McTire fan club, too.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah,
and this year, I think it's going to be more free. Because remember, last year, you actually had to pick your seat and you had to, like, pick where you want to be. When I was getting the tickets for this year, it's kind of like you could just be anywhere on the lower level, right? Like,
yeah, the ticket just gets you in, and and if you have the club level ticket as well, you could go to like the Taste of FedEx event on the upper level. But the practice starts at 6:30, I believe, and you just sit wherever you want, how it should be. Why you have to sit somewhere specifically?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully this year though, it was good last year. Don't get me wrong, it was really fun. But hopefully this year, like you said, they increased the intensity. I want to actually see some some live, you know what I'm saying? 7
For
on 7,
sure.
11 on 11.
I'm trying to see Carson sling that joint versus
Mm-hmm.
the starting defense. Shout out to Washington football fan W. Gill on becoming a YouTube member, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for becoming a Rambler. Cole Burner Turner about to be lit. I call him Aquaman. He look like Jason Momoa to me. He got the long curly hair. He's like the chillest, calmest, nicest football player ever. Like he looks like he's just so happy to be there. I'm like, yo, how you picking up the offense? How things going? He's like, man, I'm gonna do whatever they say, man. I'm just happy to be here. Like he's just such a cool, calm demeanor. He has that surfer demeanor to him. Like he'd be out on the Laguna Beach chilling, letting the wind blow in his hair. He's a baller, man. He's got all the tight end 1 reps since the first day of camp. And Logan and Chase, they look like it might take a little minute, man. It might take a little while. So are y'all comfortable going into the season with a rookie 5th round pick as the starting tight end?
Okay, I'll go. So I would say it depends. If it's just Cole Turner, then I'm a little concerned. But I think John Bates will be back by then. But if he is, then I'm good with that because like Cole Turner, at least now, isn't the blocker that we want him to be. He's never going to be an elite blocker, but like right now, it's not great. So, but you combine John Bates and Cole Turner, like I really like that combination because you got one really, really good pass catcher coming out of college, not a great blocker, and then you got one guy who's an amazing blocker and a solid pass catcher. And you combine those two, I feel solid about that for a few games. And, but if it's just Cole Turner, I'm a little concerned about the blocking, but I'm not too concerned about Cole Turner starting a few games. Like I want to see that. Like I want to see how he can do, getting all those, pass targets, because he's going to be the primary guy there if Logan's out for the first couple weeks, and he's going to be a big red zone threat. Like when Logan Thomas comes back, I feel like they'll both be on the field at the same time those red zone situations. Just imagine how hard it's going to be to guard, let's say Terry, Jahan, and then Cole Turner and Logan Thomas at the same time. Like I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, so for me, man, I'm in the same boat. I mean, Cole Turner was my favorite pick from this past draft class. I've been liking Cole Turner since day one. He's just that 6'6" tall body, mind you, a former wide receiver, so we know he's a real good receiving threat that can stretch the field. I'm excited for him, man, and if him and John Bates are our 2 tight ends to start the season, I'm totally fine with that because I expect huge things from Cole Turner to start the season. And it's crazy to think how good our tight end room is when healthy because you have 3 capable tight ends that could go out there and play. And you even have 2 practice squad guys where Curtis Hodges is a guy that they say may make the active roster, a guy that's a sleeper. But if he doesn't make it, you try to keep him around and Sammy Reyes. That tight end room as a whole is looking really good. So I'm totally fine if we have to go with John Bates and Cole Turner to start the season.
BLR Radio said, why don't they convert Sammis Reyes to a fullback? Because we're not going to utilize one. That Arma guy that we have running fullback, they be having, me and Pedro was talking about it, they be having them running with the special teams and defense at practice. They ain't running no fullback. They're not running no type of fullback offense. I don't know what we're doing there with the fullback position, but the rookie class as a whole, they, for the most part, they've all been standing out. Shout out to my guys over at Ref the District, Nate Stoner and my boy Trev. I was on there with them last night. I'm gonna have to make it up to them because I had a car situation. I was getting roadside assistance, so I had to just come on audio instead of video. But the rookie class, they stand out. They make an impact. For Darian Mathis, you don't hear much about him, but he stands out, and he's a mountain of a man. He's hard to miss when you see him out on the field. Percy Butler and Derek Forrest, they look like they're auditioning against each other to see who's going to be that third safety Buffalo nickel combo to run with Bobby McCain and Cam Curl. The safeties, the communication in the secondary between the main 4, it looks like it's good. The defense looks like they're playing for their coach's job this year because Jack Del Rio, he may be on that hot seat this year. We have a legend right now pretty much getting a trial coaching internship to see if coaching is something he wants to do. The sack master, HBK, Ryan Kerrigan. Talk about Kerrigan's retirement means to you guys as younger fans. Y'all got to see Kerrigan's whole career, and he's retired now. Does that make you feel old? And what are some of your better moments you had with Ryan Kerrigan? I'll start with Juan.
Yeah, so for me, this is probably like the guy as a Washington fan that I genuinely seen start and finish his career in the burgundy and gold. And well, he would play for the Eagles, but not really. And play for the burgundy and gold that made a serious impact on our season, man. And although he's not a Hall of Famer, but I mean, way this thing is going nowadays, you don't know who's gonna get into the Hall of Fame. But let's just assume Ryan Kerrigan isn't a Hall of Fame guy. He is a Ring of Fame guy. He deserves to have 91 retired for sure, in my opinion. He's a guy that made a huge impact for us. And again, I would say few of my favorite moments, man. It's so many. You could start with the very first game of his career, getting the pick six. You could go to 2018, where he literally sacked Dak Prescott, pokes it out, Preston Smith picks it up, and we score. Literally have a video of me screaming at the top of my lungs when that happened. Like, there's so many memories, bro, from Ryan Kerrigan's career. And I'm really excited for him and what his future holds. And I'm glad that we got, at least I would say, one burgundy and gold member that has started his career, finished it, and under this Dan Snyder era. And one thing that I do want to point out, he literally said, I don't know if you guys watched his mic'd up, but he was talking to the guys and he said, being around here, there is a real difference in a good way from when I was here compared to now. So that just speaks volumes of this new regime compared to how toxic the last one was. So if you guys haven't seen Ryan Kerrigan's mic'd up when he was at practice, please go check that out. So I'm happy for him, man, and congratulations on retirement. And maybe he will be a coach one day for the Washington Commanders or something like that. Or he said media is what else he could be doing. So let's see what the future holds for RK, man. And congratulations on an amazing career.
Hell yeah. And if you didn't watch that mic'd up on the Commanders page, as soon as you hop off of here, go watch it. It's excellent. Kerrigan's not going to lie to the guys and just say something just for shock value. He said that like he meant it. Like, it was not like this when I was here. This is a disciplined, well-run outfit. And that is not what he was used to in his 10 years in Washington. But Pedro, Ryan Kerrigan, everybody wants to kick Sam Mills the hell out of here yesterday and let Kerrigan spin with no experience. I feel them, bro, because it hurts me that like Sam Mills looked like he like y'all height coaching Chase Young and Montez Sweat. That shit don't look right to me. But Pedro, RK.
First off, I agree with you. I've been saying it. I've been like the president of this get Sam Mills out of here. I mean, it's been a while. Like, he should not be here. He hasn't been developing them properly. There's been some kind of sometimes friction inside the D-line room, not even just with each other. I think the Drawn Payne, Jonathan Allen thing really wasn't anything with Sam Mills. But like you heard, the first year there was guys in the system, Ioannidis and Allen, that were frustrated with like Sam Mills' techniques and stuff. So I don't need to talk about it too much, but I want him out of here. And then Kerrigan, one of my favorite players ever. I have his jerseys, jersey, one of the only jerseys that I bought that like actually like I'll be able to wear, without like, it being a bad investment. Like, I bought a DJ Swearinger jersey. I got it. I wore it for like a week, and then he got released on Christmas Eve. And then yeah, so that was unfortunate. Got a Kirk jersey, got a couple other ones that are unfortunate. But yeah, my favorite moments got to be 2018, the Cowboys game. That was just super hype, winning against the Cowboys. And of course, his signature, moment, like whenever he does the sack celebration, I just love that. One of the best sack celebrations in all of football. So yeah, I'm going to miss Ryan Kerrigan. I'm a little skeptical about him coaching, just because, not because I don't think he can do it, but like the grind that it takes. It's just like, to be an assistant coach, it's like 14 hours a day. And he's got 3 kids. He's got a wife. Like, I don't really know if he wants to do that right after retiring. So I could see more like a role within the organization. And like, maybe he could just do what he's doing now. He also, in the mic'd up, mentioned media. Like, I think that would be a home run for, Washington if they could get him. Like, how the Giants have Eli Manning kind of doing stuff for them on their content side. I think it would be similar for us, like with Ryan Kerrigan. So either way, I think he will stay in the organization, and I think they should, whether it be as like a assistant to assistant coach on, the D line, or as a media member. I hope they keep him around, and I think they should. Only unfortunate thing is he, had that year with the Eagles. Would have been nice if we would have been able to keep him.
I know, man. Seeing him hold the two helmets, man, that was a surreal feeling, bro. I remember the day we drafted him. I remember that draft. Everybody wanted us to take Blaine Gabbert, and it was crazy. Like it was a wild situation. I remember when there was a real conversation about should Gabbert or Cam Newton be the first pick of the draft. Crazy times we were in. Then the league got to see Ryan Kerrigan, J.J. Watt, and all the good players they got to see out of that draft class. But we start the preseason next week. Do you even want to see the starters versus the Panthers next week? Do you think we see Wentz and Baker Mayfield, or do you think it's just the Heineke Howell show and the young boys taking over? Because I can see a lot of the ones showing up with no shoulder pads on. I don't know, for the first game. And I think for the second game, that might be the dress rehearsal. In the third game, we're back to not doing anything. Like I don't know how they're going to play it because they want to be precautious with it. But this is our only home preseason game. How do y'all think that it should play out? I'll start with Juan again.
Yeah, so for me personally, I understand the precaution, man, especially at FedEx Field. Man, I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if we change the turf, whatever we do. It's something there that just makes players just get hurt. I mean, last year versus the Ravens, how many players went down for them, bro? Like 1,000 players went down for the Ravens. I mean, and that was just foreshadowing their season because they had injury problems throughout the whole season. But I understand being precautious, but I definitely want to see some of the starters play. But here's the bright side, guys. I mean, and you can know players and fans can say this about anybody's team. But since we know this roster from the front end to the back end, it's not going to be boring to us. We're going to watch it profusely and probably watch the whole game. Because we know this roster like the back of our hand. Like we know the fifth tight end, the sixth. Like we want to see this play out, right? That's 1 point. And two, the reason why it's not going to be boring because we have 3 quarterbacks that we actually want to see. Okay, Carson Wentz doesn't play. We still want to see Taylor Heineke. We know he's going to keep the game interesting because he can actually play football. It's not like other teams where they're going to be putting out third-round XFL quarterbacks to go see what they got. We're actually putting Taylor Heineke out there. If Taylor Heineke's not going to be out there, we're putting out Sam Howell, and we know everybody wants to see Sam Howell. So anyway, it doesn't matter who is playing for us. We're going to have probably one of the most interesting preseasons in football this year. So, yeah, I want to see some of the starters, but if they don't play the starters, I'm going to be fine with it because we actually have interesting backups that we actually want to see.
Hey, shout out to my guy Dejon Bell for the $1.99 super chat. He said, I want all 3 of y'all to sign my football at practice. I'm not worthy of signing signature, but I'll do it, bro. We definitely can snap a flick, and we could definitely do that if you run into us, pull up on us at a practice, at a game, wherever, man. I appreciate you. But Pedro, what do you feel about the starters playing in preseason, or do you even want to see them in the preseason?
So, I mean, last year I kind of was of the mindset, like, because there was people last year that were like, like that were really worried about the offense and, Ryan Fitzpatrick not getting enough snaps. And I was kind of like, chill. It's not a big deal. But I kind of switched it up this year because you look at Ron Rivera, like the last 2 years, extremely, extremely slow starts. And I feel like I don't think it has a lot to do with the preseason, but you got to switch something up. So I feel like they should play the starters at least one drive this game. I would say probably a total. I think the starters should play they're playing 3 preseason games. So I think they should play a full game worth of snaps, at least most of them. Like some of them, I think, it's fine if they don't play, like maybe some of the linemen, but like Wentz, I think he needs to be getting all the snaps. And yeah, the games being delayed until 8:45 at least. But yeah, that's kind of my mindset on it. And I know the injuries and everything, and that's just something that it's like last year, J.K. Dobbins tore his ACL, and that's really unfortunate.
That was there when that happened.
Yeah, that was terrible. But I just think that you can't, especially with the schedule we have, can't afford to get off to a slow start. So, and they didn't do any joint scrimmages or anything. If that was the case, then maybe that would change my mindset. But I think they should play at least a couple drives in the first game, especially since it is the only home game we're going to get.
Hell yeah. And it would be nice to see him get into some rhythm, like my guy Corey said. And shout out to Pedro and Yam for telling us there's a weather delay in the Hall of Fame game. I was sitting there looking at my phone, wondering why I'm still seeing Tony Dungy, Chris Sims, and Maria Taylor talking at 8:11. I'm like, where's the kickoff for the game? Thank you for that context. I'm definitely going to be paying attention to this game tonight, too, despite the fact that they're sitting there like whole team. This is our week 1 opponent. We got to scout these guys. We got to self-scout these guys because this is the first team we're going to see this year. But back to the conversation at hand. 1 series for Wentz and company. I really don't need to see the defense. Like most of those, maybe Jamin Davis and Khalil Hudson, who's been running a lot with the ones when we're not in base. Guys like that, I don't need to see the vets. I don't need to see Payne. I don't need to see Allen. I don't need to see Sweat I don't even need to see Sweat in the preseason. Put him in bubble wrap. I definitely don't need to see Curtis Samuel in a preseason game. I do not put him on the one Peloton and tell him to have at it like you do at practice every day. Put him in bubble wrap. I need him there September 11th when the Jags come to town. The same Jags that are about to play in this Hall of Fame game versus the new look Raiders, who had a really good offseason themselves. But yeah, man. It's the Sam Howell show in D.C. for the preseason. I've been very impressed with what I've seen from him, but we're not starting any quarterback controversies or nothing like that. Take it for what you see. He's playing with the 3rd unit, but the ball comes out fast. That's something that no matter what unit you play on, that's something you want to see.
Not those lollipop throws.
Oh, my God. Oh, Taylor, love the guy, Taylor
Exactly.
Heineke. Don't love the arm talent. The arm talent, man, that ball be hanging up there like a punt when he throws a deep ball, and he gets players hurt, as we've seen last year, Logan Thomas. And it could have got Terry killed a couple times last year. But we're not here to pile on Taylor Heineke. We're talking about Sam Howell. It's crazy to me because it's like he's Heineke's size, height-wise, but maybe like an inch or two taller. But he has Wentz's arm, and it looks crazy. He's like built Heineke with a howitzer for a right arm. Madden was not lying when they gave him the 93 throw power in his rookie year. He's like the 9th or 10th highest in throw power in the game. What did you see from him when you were at practice the other day, Pedro?
I thought he was pretty solid. I mean, it was tough because I don't know from the other days that you were there, but it seemed like they were running the ball a ton. Like, not even just the 3rd team, the first team, 2nd team, 3rd team, they were running a ton. And I thought, Jarrett Patterson, Juan's guy, he looked pretty good that day. But I think Howell, for the most part, was pretty solid. Like you said, you can tell the arm talent is a lot better than Heineke. And again, love Heineke, love the guy. He's a great backup to have. Teammates love him. But Howell, yeah, he definitely has more arm talent. And I think having him as the 3rd guy for this year is a good spot for him to be, play him a lot in the preseason, and, have an evaluation for him by the end of the year, see how you feel. If you feel good about him, then you can let Heineke go and have Howell as your backup. If you don't, then you just keep Heineke for another year. But for the most part, I thought Howell was very, very solid, didn't make any mistakes, dumped it off when he needed to. I just wish they would have thrown the ball a little bit more so we could have actually seen it. But, yeah.
I do too, because for my vlog, it was like all run play. They were like, yo, where were the passes real? I was like, yo, they were doing run fits the whole day. The entire day, it was run it to this running back, run it to the next running back, throw a swing pass to the running back. That's how I was like the whole day we were out there. I'll be out there again tomorrow morning. So hopefully, Ron said tomorrow and Saturday, they're picking up the intensity of practice. So it should be more like a live situation style thing. Someone needs to tell Jeremy Reeves to relax because he be out there head hunting in practice. That boy be out there trying to take heads off. He wants a roster spot. But yeah, Juan, what are you expecting to see out of Sam Howell in preseason? And what do you need to see to have any type of confidence that, yeah, at some point he can unseat Taylor as the backup quarterback?
So for me personally, I'll be honest, man. I love Taylor Heineke. I don't want to see him unseat Taylor Heineke, but that may be an ultimate reality, right? What I'm gonna need to see from Sam Howell is just show me that you could play at this level. Like we seen this guy in North Carolina play like at the top of his game. You know, one thing that really surprised me coming out of North Carolina was his athletic ability. I didn't know he could move like that, and he can actually take some hits and he delivers some blows. So just show me you could play at this level. I want to see him be a really good passer. Like, you know, you have the arm strength. Are you accurate? You know, can you anticipate? Can you put balls in windows that some quarterbacks can't? I.e., Taylor Heineke. That is probably going to be his way to unseat Taylor Heineke as quarterback too. Is show him that you can deliver passes that he can't. You know, as you guys like to call him, the lollipop throws, which, as you already confirmed, he doesn't do. So, for me personally, just show me that you can play at this level, man, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is a backup player or backup quarterback for his quarterback too, or if he just goes out of balls. Do we trade him at some point on the season or after if Carson Wentz is our guy? That could be another conversation for itself, but at a later date. But more of the story, just show me that you can play at this level, man. Show me that you can compete, and I wouldn't mind having you as my quarterback too.
Hey, Joe's Montana, for the culture, they gotta let Diami run some series with Sam because in practice they have not let him throw the ball to Sam. They have not let Sam throw the ball to Diami once in practice yet. Diami runs exclusively with the first team and sometimes with Taylor Heineke in the second team. But I would love to see it. He said they want to be out there looking like Burrow and Jamar, and Sam Howell is hilarious beating him a couple times. Sam Howell sound like he grew up in the hood, bro. That shit is hilarious. Yo, I was like, yo, how that offense treat you? How you picking it up? He was like, shit, I'm trying, fool. Like, I was like, yo, how black as shit, bro.
Hey, you heard it on the draft call.
The Diami call.
Yeah, you heard it, and in the comment section, like
everyone was saying he's invited to the cookout. I remember that.
Hell yeah.
All the
he was like, them boys back together, man. Let's go. I was like,
hey, Hal got a little, you know what I'm saying?
A little flavor to him, a little mean to him.
But Sam Howell seasons his food. Let's put it that way.
his chicken.
His chicken.
Because he does not eat steak and he's never had a burger, that's something I definitely like. If I was to ever speak with him for an extended period of time, I definitely want to have that.
So he literally, there's no way he never had a burger in his life. Like,
well, I think he said he doesn't like it. So something like that.
Now a steak I can understand. That's a little more, reasonable. But a burger, I can't believe that.
That's so un-American to have never had a burger, bro. Like that's one of the most un-American things ever.
Yeah.
Yo, I got a quick question for you guys because you guys were talking about Diami Brown. So I was listening to JP Finley's podcast, and he was kind of saying something that I didn't really agree with, or maybe, I don't know, I didn't really think about, but he was saying he thinks Diami Brown is going to be inactive on game days because of how the receiver room looks like. And I mean, originally I was like, there's no way, right? But then someone brought up a good point that, they're probably going to keep Cam Sims active because, he's the only big receiver that they have. But then you really look at it, Colt Turner is kind of like a hybrid between the two. So I think Diami is going to be active for sure. I mean, I think he's going to, he's probably our fourth receiver. And, they might keep 7 receivers. So I don't know. I don't really agree with that. Like, he was active at some points last year, or he was active for all of last year when he was healthy. So what do you guys think about that?
I don't see him being inactive unless an injury happens. I don't understand. He has to have had a conversation with somebody to come out and say that, where he's reaching. I don't know. I can't see that. I know Diami looked really good the first day I was there. The second day, he dropped like 4 passes. He dropped hella passes that day, and he was looking like rookie year Diami again, but he was having a strong camp. But it's just practice. It's so easy to get caught up in one play, one drive, or a clip of practice. As fans, we all do it because we're fanatics. We're fiending. We are itching for football. Like, I'm dying that this damn Hall of Fame game hasn't started yet right now. We need to relax over practice play. It's like Kyle Hamilton's a bust because he got burnt a couple times in practice. Bro, last year, Jamar Chase couldn't catch a cold or COVID and ended up being like the best rookie receiver we've ever seen in the history of football. We have to relax on these games that don't mean nothing, man. But yeah, man, I don't see Diami being inactive on game days. How about you, Juan?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. He says I like the hair.
Like 8:45, Rufio.
That's JP's my guy. Like, no, ain't my guy. That's so un-JP like to say something like that. Without it possibly meaning he has an inside scoop, like you said, Rio. Because we all listen to JP Finley. He doesn't say stuff like that. Like, that's not JP-ish to be reaching like that. I don't see him being inactive. They're expecting a big year 2 out of the Army. We're expecting a big year 2 out of the Army. They spent the 3rd round draft pick on this guy. So I don't see a reason he would be inactive besides it being an injury. So maybe that's something that we have to keep our eyes, looking out for, because I don't see why JP Finley would just say something like that randomly. Like, that has to mean something, right?
I mean, JP says some shit sometime that I'm definitely not on board with, but I love the pod, and JP's a cool dude, man.
Yeah, I feel like he says, like, again, big fan of JP as well, but like I feel like someone like Kime, most of the stuff he says he's got sources for, or if he doesn't, he'll be like, oh, this is just what I think. I think JP sometimes, like, he's saying a lot of things without sources, so I think that's definitely one of those where
JP be willing to get roasted to get his shit off and try to get on first.
Yeah.
Kime be about business. Remember when we were at practice and you saw all the media hiding from the sun in the media tent, and Kime was standing at the end of the end zone with a notepad by himself, looking like a damn scout at the combine.
He was like I was telling you, he was zoned in. Like you said, all the other reporters kind of talking to each other. There's a few that are also zoned in, but Kime is right in front of the players, just looking, like just watching. Because he says he doesn't like to watch kind of the whole, like he does, of course, watch the whole practice, but he tries to zero in on a few players, because like that was the first time I was at training camp, and like I think you could say the same. Sometimes it's hard to focus on everyone because there's like one drill here, one drill here, one drill over there. So he kind of says he focuses on a few players, and then after, like, he'll on his podcast, he'll kind of go over those few players. Khan's like the best in my opinion. He's great, and yeah, that was just funny to see him. And do you guys see what he tweeted today?
Nah, what did he say?
He I mean, I don't know if I want to say, he kind of got mad at Sway Run for using his audio.
Good. Looking good. Like, I'm not even trying to hate. Shout out to everybody in the content creator community, but there should be a decorum when it comes to using people's podcast audio and titling your videos about shit that's not happening in the video. But that's here nor there and none of my business, but that's hilarious. I'm gonna have to check that out. I definitely have to check that out. But I see players on the field now stretching. I'm actually looking at a football game with two teams on the field. It is that time of year. We're looking forward, looking ahead to our schedule now. Oh, shout out to Random Commies fan. Commies is hilarious. I'm doing lovely. It was too damn hot today, but it's all good. Rufio said he's digging the hair wand. The braids are clean.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Clean, my boy. And he said the green screen's fire. Michael said we'll see a lot of creative plays, but if the offense starts gelling, I hope the defense steps. That defense better step up. They have all the pieces they need. The linebacker room may not be the 85 Bears linebacker room or the 2000 Ravens, but that defense has no excuse to not finally excel and to see guys playing to their potential. But yeah, Chase couldn't catch nothing last preseason. But yeah, man, Kime is a professional dude. But looking forward to the regular season schedule. Which games are y'all looking forward to the most non-divisional? Because it's easy to say Eagles because the Carson Wentz revenge tour. But what games are y'all looking forward to the most? I'll start with Pedro.
Oh, that's tough. I mean, I'm going to say
Facts, Jay.
Yeah. But I'm going to say, I guess maybe the Colts. I mean, I think that'll be a fun game, kind of, a revenge game as well. I'm trying to think. That one I feel like is an evenly matched game that, like, maybe they're a little bit better, maybe we're a little bit better, but, revenge game for Carson Wentz. And I think we could definitely win that for sure. And yeah, I mean, there's another great answer by Jay, but I'm pretty sure one of you guys will say it. And hey, that Corey's got another good answer. Blackout game.
That's the
Which
Vikings
game is that?
game. The Vikings game. Week 9, it's the blackout game, man. Our boys coming home for the first time, and we're wearing all black when Kirk comes to town. It's gonna be a scene. Hopefully, they get the goddamn black jerseys on shelves so we can actually show up with black jerseys.
Like, I don't want to be buying replicas, but I'm so close to just buying these fake jerseys off eBay because, like, it's been.
Pedro, don't let me see you at FedEx with a Wish.com joke, bro. With the Commanders wiggly lines.
Once my dad bought when was it? 10 years ago, RG3 year. My dad bought a fake jersey, and they spelled Griffin wrong. They didn't have the I at the end. So I was in 3rd grade. Like, I didn't even check for those things like on the back. So I just wore it. And one of my friends was like, "Bro, they spelled the name wrong, but they just gave us another one for so it was chill." But yeah, I mean, I don't know if they don't get one before the season, I might have to get a fake.
Nah, bro, you gotta wait for that shit, bro. You gotta wait for it, Pedro. I can't have you out here looking like that, my guy. I seen one of the black fake jerseys at camp. The sleeves are like light graphite gray, and that shit looks awful, bro. That should look like dinosaur elephant skin on the sleeves. It's not it, my guy. But I'm fiending for them black jerseys as well. My guy, off to another world with a great answer. First game, because it's the game that Wentz caught the most heat for, despite the fact that the whole the whole Colts team played like ass, and they beat Indianapolis 6 years in a row in Jacksonville. We're just gonna act like Wentz is the only quarterback that's ever had a bad game versus the Jags. But I would love to see us come out and drop 37 on their heads first week in a blowout. It would be the greatest start to this Commanders era. What games, Juan? What are the ones you're looking at, man, other than division games?
Non-divisional, man. And before we get to that, like I told you last time, man, I'm gonna be at week 1, man. So it will be nothing better but to see us drop 30 on them, then double back and drop 40 on the Lions, man. Oh man, that would be amazing. But let's be real.
The Eagles coming to town the next week. Woo!
But come on, let's be real, guys. We know it's gonna be more of a 20-16, nail-biting game. We know how this is gonna go. In all seriousness, man, that would be amazing. But yeah, like you guys already said it for me. Non-divisional is the Vikings game. Kirk Cousins coming back to town. I want to see how we're going to treat him because we know Philly is going to treat Carson Wentz like trash, and they're going to boo the hell out of him. I wonder what are we going to do? Me personally, I'm not going to boo Kirk. I'm not going to boo Kirk, but there's some other people in this fan base that may boo Kirk Cousins.
They will.
The Vikings, along with that being the Kirk Cousins game, the blackout game. I want to see how we're going to fare against Justin Jefferson, man. That guy, he's so good, man.
He's dirty,
He's
bro.
so good. And I think that may be a game where Terry is gonna go crazy because who the hell is in their secondary? Is
Nobody.
Patrick Peterson still there?
We in their secondary, bro.
30-plus-year-old Patrick Peterson. That's it.
Like there's
barbecue
no
chicken.
Why we shouldn't go? Oh, I know what I said now. I forgot whose stream I was on, but I said that game is going to be a shootout, back and forth kind of game. I can see that game
37-34.
Yeah, something like that. I forgot whose stream I was on. I don't remember, but I said that early in the season because both teams' offenses are elite, but our defense, or at least we think our offense can be elite. The Vikings' offense is really, really good. Our defense is definitely capable of stopping theirs, but their defense isn't capable of stopping ours. So the Vikings game for me is probably the one I'm most excited to see non-divisional. But hell, I'm excited to see this whole schedule, to be honest.
Hey, man. Seeing Brandon Sheriff is weird. I want Jonathan Allen to put him in a stranglehold week 1. I want them to tear his ass up, bro. Sheriff Ben didn't want to be here, bro. He didn't want to be here for a long time, bro. He took that Jacksonville contract so fast and got up out of here, man. I want our defensive interior line to tear his, to me personally, overrated ass up. I think Sheriff is a really good guard. I don't think he belongs anywhere in the conversation of a Quentin Nelson. And I think there was a lot in the fan base that looked in the mirror and saw Sheriff as Quentin Nelson, and there's levels to this shit. Did y'all think Brandon Sheriff, because of the All Pro, did y'all think he was elite?
I'll say definitely not in the Quentin Nelson, Zach Martins of the world. And when he played, he was pretty damn good, but like not elite. But I don't know if Nati from DMV Sports Zone's in here. If he hears me say that, he's gonna get upset because that's Sheriff's biggest fan. But shout out Nati. I love
Nati rides for Brandon Sheriff and Jalen Hurts like he's on their payroll. Shout out to my boy. He's at the Kendrick concert right now. Enjoy the show, my boy.
Yeah, but in terms of Brandon, like he was really good, but he played like he always missed 5+ games every single year, basically. Can't count on him. And I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like he had way too many penalties for like a 7-year vet. A guy that is an All-Pro should not be having that many penalties. So he was good, definitely better than good. Like he's really good. Maybe you can throw him in elite, but not even close to Quentin Nelson, Zach Martin, and a couple other players. So I pretty much agree with you, Rio. And and of all places to choose, Jacksonville, like that's crazy.
They threw the bag at everybody this offseason, including another Christian Kirk. He's being paid like an elite receiver, and he's never sniffed 1,000 yards before. What a time it is to be a free agent and in sport. Juan.
Hey, let me just say this about Brandon Sheriff. It don't matter what we say about him. That boy, he know how to finesse something because he done got a bag out of us. And then he dipped and went to a beautiful place like Jacksonville for the weather, not the team, obviously, and got another big bag. He is set for life. That dude is having
and no income tax.
He's having right now, bro. But as far as like, that's the thing with Sheriff. It was like he's good, but when he doesn't play, like he's always hurt. You know what I'm saying? He's really good, and that last All-Pro that he got, I felt like that was just typical because you know how this thing is in the NFL. It's off of names and popularity. It's not really off of who deserves it. That's why he was always picked to be in All-Pros and stuff like that. And no credit taken away from the guy, but he's not a Zach Martin. He's not a Quentin Nelson, but he was nice for us. But again, I wanted him gone in 2020 when I saw Wes Schweitzer step in and he was able to hold his own. I wanted Wes Schweitzer to start the following season and us to let go of him that year. So I've been wanting him gone for a while. So I'm glad he's gone. I don't think we're going to have too much of a drop-off just because of how good our offensive line coach is, John Masco. Andrew Norwell, Trey Turner. I heard Andrew Norwell's been getting his ass whooped by Jonathan Allen, but who isn't going to get their ass whooped by Jonathan Allen, right? I don't think we're going to have too much of a drop-off. I think we'll be just fine. So, yeah, that's my take on Brandon Sheriff.
Hey, Corey said, what game would you say is the trap game? I don't even know if we're good enough yet until I see it to call a game a trap game, but I got 3 that come right off the top of my head. The first 2 games of the season, home versus Jacksonville and at Detroit. Detroit lost, it feels like, every game last year by a field goal or a touchdown. They lost every game by 1 possession, it felt like. They fight hard for Campbell. They come out and they crack and eat kneecaps, all that shit. And they got better. I think Jared Goff will be better in year 2 of the system there. But a game I look at as a trap game is when we play the Atlanta Falcons, because there is no reason on earth that I feel like we should lose a game to Marcus Mariota or Desmond Ridder. We should not lose that game. Like, that should be one where I look at the schedule and say, W. I am not afraid. If Marcus Mariota dots us up for 300 yards, boy, Jack might not make it too far.
Get him out of here if that happens.
I don't want it. Like, that feels like the trap game of the season to me. What do I love Drake London is balling in camp right now. Drake London can't throw the ball to himself. And their run game doesn't scare me. I like Kyle Pitts and Drake London, but I'm not worried that, like, Ritter's going to be forced to play sooner than he needs to play. Like, he needs to develop. Mariota's either going to stink it up or get hurt. And we're going to see Ritter's 100-year-old looking ass out on the field sooner than we need to be.
Yeah, so for me, I don't think we're good enough to have trap games. Like, we talk about beating Jacksonville. We think we should beat Jacksonville. We think we should beat Detroit. That's how Detroit's looking at us. That's how Jacksonville's looking at us. We're not good enough to have chop games, man. Now, if we get in the middle of the season and we like 8-1, 8-2, if we're just killing it and we come across teams like the Texans or like the Falcons, then that's when you can start saying this may be a chop game because we hot. The Falcons, they haven't been losing that badly. They've been, losing nail biters. Okay, that could be a trap game, but sitting here in August 4th, we're not good enough to say trap game.
Hell no, I agree. Pedro.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, I guess I would go Lions. Like Rio said, they fight hard for Dan Campbell, and they played a lot of close games last year. And they're not a terrible team. Goff's not great, but he's better than a lot of these younger QBs, and they'll be competitive. But we still should win against them.
For sure. Okay. Speaking outside of the realm of – let me answer this question from Jay real quick. Jay asks, out of Sweat – this is easy for me. Out of Sweat, Young, and Payne, which two would you keep at this moment? Sweat and Young. Daron Payne, love the guy. I see him leaving in the offseason. Can't allocate that much money towards the interior part of the line when you got two edge rushers that you project to be great who are going to reset the market when it's their time to hit free agency. Easily Sweat and Young for me. Love Daron Payne, though. I think he's going to have his best season of his career, and we're going to watch him walk it right.
Contract year.
Yep, he's going to walk it right to another franchise. We're going to get that compensatory third-round pick for him. What are y'all answers to this?
Same. Again, we drafted Fedarian Mathis for a reason, right? You don't draft Fedarian Mathis that high to be a backup long term. Yeah, is he going to have less snaps this year? Well, yeah, of course, you still got Daron Payne here, but next year when he leaves, that's who you're getting to retake his spot. So, of course, I'm going to go Sweat and Young. Payne is solid, but I would much rather have two elite pass rushers that at least we think they're going to be elite. I can't call them elite.
They project to be that. Shout out to the Code Talker. Make sure y'all smash the like button right now. We got 99 in the chat. Make sure y'all smash it. And if you're not subbed up to Pedro or Juan Gotti, make sure you're subbed to the guys because we work hard. We work hard in this content creator sphere, man. This is more than a hobby for us, man. We love this shit and we do this and we want everybody. We want to all give fresh takes, even if we're all saying the same information most of the time. But Pedro, your answer the same for that one?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, especially if we didn't draft Fedarian Mathis, it would be a little bit more of a debate. But right now, I mean, it's really you got to keep Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Hopefully they give you more of an answer this year, because it's kind of been you think you see the flashes, but you don't know for sure. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that they give us a more definitive answer. I'm pretty sure about Montez, what I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be a 9 to 12 guys sack every year. I mean, last year, I feel like people don't appreciate that, Michael. I feel like a lot of people last year are acting like Montez Sweat was terrible. But I mean, in the 10 games he played, he had 5 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. That's on pace for whatever. He was on pace for 8.5 sacks, something like that last year if he played every game, and 6 forced fumbles. So, or 5 forced fumbles. So he wasn't as bad as people thought he was last year. And I think he's going to be solid. Chase Young, on the other hand, I don't know. Am I confident he's going to be an elite pass rusher? I don't know. We'll see. I think he is, and I hope he is. But I think at the very least, he's going to be a Jadeveon Clowney. But I'm hoping he's more than that.
Please.
That's at the least.
Please give us more than that. It's crazy. My boy Jalen, shout out my boy that was with us at that camp the other day, Jalen Morgan, Bleeding B&G, shout out gang. He told me when we drafted Chase Young that I want to say someone at his barber shop told him, y'all just drafted Aaron Mabin. And that shit never set well with me because I was like, bro, you talking about the Jets, Aaron Mabin? He was like, I've watched Chase his whole life. Chase is going to be Aaron Mabin at the next level. And that shit made me feel away. I was like, so we're not even talking Jadeveon Clowney. We're talking Aaron. That would be a terrible comp for us. I think he's going to bounce back when he gets there. Okay, I'm looking at Josh McDaniels now. The Hall of Fame game is underway. The NFL season is kicking off right now. But, yeah, man, I think it's an easy answer that Sweat and Young are the guys to keep. But moving off the Commanders real quick, we got some young quarterbacks entering year 2, which is a huge year for young quarterbacks when they want to take that next step and ascend into a franchise guy. Justin Fields, Davis Mills, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, who's taking over the reins in San Francisco, and I'm missing somebody. Mac Jones over with the who did I miss somebody?
I feel like you.
Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson.
Did you say Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah. Zach Wilson, the MILF hunter. Like out of those young guys, who do you see taking the biggest step in year 2? I almost feel like we need to take Mac Jones out the equation because he has shit built around him already, and the other guys play for pretty dumpster fire situations that they have to transcend. Who do you see taking the biggest leap from year 1 to year 2?
Well, before I address my opinion on that and give the person I'm going to talk about the Patriots and Mac Jones. Yeah, you're right. He has something built around him, but they're not going to – I don't see them doing anything significantly, man. One, that AFC as a whole conference is just a slaughter. You're not beating the Bills for the AFC East. The Dolphins is going to be improved. The Jets are going to be improved. I'm not really high on the Patriots. The only reason why I'm still somewhat not completely writing them off is because of that system, because of Bill Belichick. But who is around him? Kendrick Bourne, is Nelson Aguilar still there? They got Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith. Like they got some solid pieces, but like if Kendrick Bourne is your wide receiver 1, I believe so. I'm not really comfortable with Mac Jones at taking that real second year leap. Now the guy that I am talking about that I think is going to take that second year lead, Davis effing Mills, man. That guy, bro, I think he can be their quarterback 1. Like, baller. I really do think so. Like, the Texans, man, if they could somehow get more weapons around him, I believe Brandon Cooks is his guy right now. If they could somehow give some more weapons around Davis Mills, he could be really, really good. And I know Pedro talked a lot about him last year coming out of Stanford as maybe like a guy that we would have drafted or something like that. I'm really excited to see him take that second year leap, man. I think he's going to be the guy for me that's going to take that second year leap and actually be something. Keep the Texans competitive in the AFC.
Trevon Walker just got a roughing the passer on the first play of the game. They hit a deep ball, and Trevon Walker already done F the quarterback up on his first play in the NFL. So the Hall of Fame game's off on a boom. But Pedro, I want to know your answer. I feel like I'm gonna have a different answer than everybody.
So yeah, David, like Juan said, Davis Mills was my guy, and I wanted us to draft him either the second or third round. He had a good year, so I'm gonna go kind of the more like cop-out answer again with Trevor Lawrence, just because like he was not good last year. Whatever you want to say, the excuses, whatever. I think it was like 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, something like that. It was not good. And I think like he's going to take a big leap from that, just considering the mess of a coach he had and the culture he had last year with Urban Meyer, and now going to Doug Peterson, who's done a good job with QBs in the past, worked under Andy Reid, did a good job with Carson Wentz up until the end there. So I think, and also like they overpaid a ton for these guys, but they did get, their offense is better than it was last year in terms of weapons. Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, who's still is kind of iffy. They got Brandon Sheriff. So I feel like he's going to take a pretty big second leap, but I kind of agree with all your guys' ones as well.
Okay. The Cold Talker said to the panel, would you feel if I'd be okay with Sweat being a megastar and Chase just being a good DE because I want to see us be good. And if one of them becomes a megastar, we're in great shape because we need one of those. We need a guy that can go at a 17, 18 sack. I'm watching these Bosa brothers. I'm watching the Watt brothers. And I'm sitting there like, all right, Chandler Jones. I'm watching these guys and I'm like, man, I want to know what that feels like again. I want to know what it feels like to have a guy that can go out and change a game and flip like a 3 or 4 sack game at any time, like a complete game changer. But my answer to this question is Trey Lance. I am a Trey Lance truther, and I think he's set up best to succeed because he's playing for Kyle Shanahan. And Kyle Shanahan did magic with RG3 here in Washington in 2012. I watched an offense coached by Kyle Shanahan, ran by Rex Grossman and John Beck, where receivers ran open all year. We just didn't have the quarterback to get it to him. I know he's going to get in his bag with Trey Lance. That team coming off an NFC championship, like that team is set to win. He has weapons for days. I've heard the connection between him and Brandon Ayuk has looked amazing. They just signed Debo long term. You know the Shanahan's in their run game is going to be there. I think Trey Lance is going to ball out for the San Francisco 49ers, and I think we're going to have some problems when we go up to Levi Stadium on Christmas Eve this year. But what do y'all think Trey Lance is going to do in San Francisco?
Yeah, I don't know. It was really hard to rate Trey Lance for the short period of time he did play last year. I think he's gonna be way better than a lot of people, believe in him. It was the start of training camp. People were, as they overreact all the time, they say that he might lead the league in interceptions or something like that. I think he's gonna be fine. I don't know if he's gonna, be elite or be, the quarterback that's going to be able to lead the 49ers to something successful. You got to see more out of him. But as we sit right now, I don't think he can be any worse than Jimmy Garoppolo. And again, Jimmy Garoppolo for some reason always wins games, but he's never the reason why they win. There's no way he can be worse than Jimmy G, right? And they got weapons around him and George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Debo they re-signed. So I think they're going to be fine. Not to mention they have, because of Kyle Shanahan, they just always have a great run game. They always just draft these running backs in the late rounds, like Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon, before that, Raheem Mostert. Like, the 49ers always get these unknown running backs and just make them elite for some reason.
That's a Shanahan staple, bro. That is a Shanahan, in the Bible, they will find them a running back on day 3 or undrafted, bro.
Exactly. So I think he's gonna be fine, but like I said, I think Davis Mills, man, he's gonna take that second year leap, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps them competitive in the South, man, because that AFC South is the worst division in football. So don't be surprised if the Texans, man, hanging around for at least to start the season.
Hell yeah, and to finish off about the Texans, me and Stunner tried to tell y'all the cornerback 1 in the NFL draft was Derek Stingley. Nothing but rave reviews coming out of Houston's camp. There's all kinds of he's one of the best corners we've ever seen things come. I told people with Derek Stingley, it was all about availability because skill-wise, Sauce Gardner cannot shine Derek Stingley's shoes. But Stingley missed so much time, and Sauce Gardner is what we've seen lately, and he has the tall, lanky build that a lot of corners, what the league desires now. But my boy Stingley is about to do some things. But, Pedro, did you want to touch on Trey Lance anything more?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Juan there. I don't feel super strongly about it, but I think he's going to be pretty solid this year. He's got some good weapons. Got George Kittle, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams out there, Kyle Juszczyk, Elijah Mitchell. They've got some weapons out there. Kyle Shanahan knows how to get these, especially the mobile QBs, knows how to work them. So I feel like he's going to be solid this year for sure.
Okay. All right. And back to us. Let's go back. Let's rein it back home real quick. The Commanders. What is the nuclear worst case scenario for the season? I'm knock on wood when you make these. What is the worst possible situation we could put ourselves into? What is the most Washington Redskins shit we could get ourselves into this season? Pedro, go ahead.
Okay, I feel super, super strongly about this. The worst case scenario, we win 8 games. I will be livid because I much, much, much rather win 2 games
than win
3 games. Then win 8 or 7 games again and be picking 15th when there's CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, the Kentucky QB. This QB class is legit. It might be, I think it's better. It's going to be better than the 2021 QB class or whatever, not this past year, but
2021.
That class. So I think that is the worst case scenario. for Washington if you think about long term. In terms of like win total, like what I think the worst case scenario is, like, you know, the worst we could do is probably 7. Like, I don't, even with a ton of injuries, I don't see us going any worse than 7. But for our future and everything, please go less than 7 if you're not making the playoffs. I cannot go another 7
Jay
win
just
season.
took the words out of my fucking mouth before I could even get to it. That's it. That's all of it right there. Wentz gets hurt. We miss the playoff and we go 7-10 again. It cannot get worse than that. We're gonna have us watching more than a half a season of Taylor Heineke again, winning 7 games and missing the playoffs. It would feel like we made no step forward and we're no closer to finding our franchise quarterback because we're picking in the goddamn teams again. And we're going to have to make some crazy trade up like the 49ers did with Trey Lance to get our guy. That is the worst possible scenario for me. That's as much as I need to elaborate on it. Juan.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm a little bit different. When it comes to that comment right there. I mean, the worst case scenario, yes, Carson Wentz get hurt, right? But with how I don't want to say easy, right? But the schedule laid out, if Taylor Heineke was to be the guy again because of an injury, I think he would do better than what he did last year. He managed a 7-10 schedule facing Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott twice. Right?
He also threw us out of them games too because we had a chance to win all them motherfuckers.
Definitely. I'm not saying I want him to. I'm not saying I hope he does, but I'm saying if Carson Wentz gets hurt and this schedule, the way this schedule is, I believe Taylor Heineke can still get us to 9 and something, 10 and something in the wild card range. Not saying that's what I want, but I'm just saying worst case scenario. But again, worst case scenario for me, I'm right with you guys, man, is 7-10, 8-9, because this is like we're not making no progress. Like this is the 3rd year in the row where we're just stuck, right? But then again, also on the flip side, on the back end, it's like, okay, guys, we'll have a top pick. But in the moment, I think another one would be like another 3-13 season would be the worst case scenario too. Because
if you're gonna suck, that's how you gotta do it, bro. You gotta.
But it's like, okay, on the back end, yes, we're getting the top 3 picks, but in the moment, man, that 2019 season was so miserable. I wasn't thinking about the top 3 picks. Terrible. I was in the moment thinking about how we're just trash and we're getting trampled by teams each and every week. I mean, bro,
remember how the Jets did us?
It was so bad. Like, man, that start of the season, bro, we started off 0-5, and it was just like, bro, we suck. Like, it's just terrible, and it sucks. But I'm right with you guys, man. More the worst case scenario is we go 7-10, Wentz get hurt, and it's just like we make no progress for the 3rd year in a row, and then you have to start questioning: is Ron Rivera the person for this job?
And dare I say, if Wentz get hurt, it might be time to see what the rookie can do. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see Sam Howell play football in 2022. But if I don't want my starting quarterback, Carson Wentz, getting hurt. But if he does, I want to see the rookie. I know what Ford can do. I know what he's capable of. At that point, we'll probably be out of the playoff picture. I need to see if this kid can sink or swim in the league because we're about to enter the year of the quarterback in next year's draft, and we're not married long-term to the starter who hypothetically in this situation would be injured. So I'd want to see Howell if that was the case. But let's hope none of this shit that we just spoke comes to fruition or existence because it would be depressing as hell. But the way I've always felt about NFL seasons, you need to be good or you need to be trash. Like being stuck at average in that purgatory of 6 to 8 wins, it's the worst place you can be because you don't get a premium pick unless you trade significant draft capital to get it. And you also didn't make the playoffs. It's almost like you wasted a year as a fan watching the sport. Like, what are we even doing? Like, that's what that shit feels like,
exactly.
Man. But yeah, man, that pretty much about wraps it up for all I've got tonight. Pedro, you said you got to run anyway. And everybody can get to enjoy the game, enjoy this preseason game. If y'all are coming out to FedEx Field Saturday, pull up on your boy. I'll be out there. You'll see me out there with my Commander's phone case out there recording shit and vlogging, because you already know this is what we do. I got to get the content out to the people. Appreciate y'all for coming on to me. Y'all go ahead and let them know where to find you if they don't already know. We can get out of here.
You want to go first, Pedro, or me?
You got it.
All right, so it's your boy Juan Gotti, man. Juan Gotti talking sports, man. I appreciate Rio for having me on as always. Means a lot. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and check out my YouTube channel on the road to 5,000 subscribers at Juan Gotti talking sports.
Sir.
So again, I appreciate Rio for having me on, and make sure you guys check me out, bro.
Yeah, like Juan said, appreciate you for having us on. It was a blast. Always like talking Commanders, NFL football, and again, like you said, it was great seeing you at training camp. Just Pedro Schmidt on YouTube. You can find my stuff there. Had a training camp vlog. Always have the training camp recaps, and then Pedro Schmidt YT, SCHMITH on Twitter. So yeah, go follow me there. Appreciate you having us on, Rio.
Hell yeah, man. It's always a good time. My boys keep that content churning out. Thank you to everybody that was in the chat. Kept it interesting, kept it fun, kept the vibes immaculate per usual. Without you guys, we're not able to grow on the platform. So I appreciate y'all. Smash that like, smash that sub on both of these guys if you're not already subbed up. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Until next time, deuces.
Peace.